Tonight on News 5 Live, Shine Barrow is back in action. His return to the UDP headquarters follows a favorable High Court ruling on Friday. We had an exclusive sit-down with him to discuss the latest political developments, including the sidelining of Joe Alfonso. Meanwhile, the Senate met in a special session and debated the upcoming election budget. In other news, a 6-year-old was shot in Corozal, and police have no suspects yet. These stories and more are coming up in just 60 seconds. Stay tuned.
Ay join jik ahelak sa Kopal Tree Lodge. Keronik ahelan ay lain sa Kopal, kakui bartending kakui an keronik mano lain. Lain ni usara Belize Bank mobile app. Hanak na usara uta hana ATM, uting card. Araw kay balbas changkiron sa usara ut kolore na notification chira phone na mensajes. Araw ta kin na kolore ta kala harup chitumen sa usara. Ut araw ta naw nak sa chabilo wang gatumen.
They'll name you 100 reasons to step back. But when you achieve your goal, they will follow you. Gorilla, make some noise.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, November 11th. I am Sabrina Daly. Shine Barrow is back in the building. He returned to the United Democratic Party's headquarters on Youth for the Future Drive thanks to a High Court ruling in his favor on Friday morning. Barrow, the area representative for Mesopotamia and leader of the opposition, is one of 5 claimants who took Tracy Panton and former Secretary General Philippa Griffith Bailey to court over the building's occupation. Barrow and his team are seeking various forms of relief, which the High Court will address at a later date. This afternoon, he sat down with News 5's Isani Kayatana to discuss these latest developments. We kick off our newscast this evening with that exclusive one-on-one with Shine Barrow.
And so we are all thrilled, extremely grateful for the decision of the High Court to grant this injunctive relief. We are grateful to the lawyer, of course, Counsel Emmanuel Williams and the Glenn D. Godfrey law firm. And we just feel vindicated. We are extremely satisfied that Belize is a place of rules and laws that must be complied with, no matter how right you think you are. There are procedural norms that must be complied with, and we were very confident that the High Court would comply with the established case law all the way to the Court of Appeals as to how you treat with matters. You can't just come and be a political gangster and use violence and use might to have your way.
What does this mean in terms of a return to the status quo, as it were, before October 20th and, of course, the resulting events thereafter?
Well, that is what the learned Justice Honduras said. His orders were that things returned to the status quo ante and that the property returned to the central executive of the United Democratic Party, in essence acknowledging the claimants who came on behalf of the UDP.
On both sides of this debacle, it has been argued that the building is symbolic as the seat of the United Democratic Party. But there's also the argument that one does not necessarily have to administer the business of the UDP from that particular location. What are your thoughts on that? From the period of time when you guys were kicked out of the building to know that you have been returned to the foot of the Bell China Bridge?
The building is essential. That is our headquarters. That is where we operate. That is where we have our party organs. So I appreciate the spirit of comments that may have been made by the party chairman, but unlike the Alliance, who marshaled 100 people with force and aggression to take something that they said was inconsequential, we abided by the rule of law.
The leadership tussle between Shine Barrow and Tracy Tager Panton is also under the High Court scrutiny. Barrow's claim includes a request for Justice Hondura to decide who the rightful UDP leader is. The timeline will start in January 2025 with a case management session, but with general elections on the horizon. We asked Barrow if the legal outcome would even matter if he and the UDP lose the national vote. Here's what he had to say.
The matter that's before the High Court, where the legitimacy of the leadership of the United Democratic Party is concerned, if in fact the general elections are called and held before March 2025, and if we're looking at the timeline that has been given by the court in terms of when they will have a case management and then when they move to the trial or the substantive matter before the court, you lose and the United Democratic Party loses the next general elections.
Mm-hmm.
Would the leadership debate or leadership argument that's before the court be an academic exercise at that point? Because they would be open and free to challenge your leadership at that point.
I don't know about that because they're not members of the party. That's something that you have to look at. These are people that have acted in complete contravention of the United Democratic Constitution, and I believe that what happened in the High Court, the decision that was made by Justice Hondura, really underpins the mindset and the behavior of these people, that they act outside of constitutions, they act outside of rules. It's whatever they say.
It's highly likely that general elections will be called within the first 3 months of the new year, given that supplementary funds have already been allocated for the process. But the big question is, can the fractured UDP and Shine Barrow mend fences with the Alliance for Democracy to mount a strong campaign against the People's United Party?
Would you consider perhaps amending offenses, seeing that in this particular case you have two strong candidates who have won their constituencies, in the case of Mr. Faber 5 times over, in the case of Mrs. Panton at least twice consecutively? Would you consider perhaps making amends for the sake of being able to mount a formidable challenge?
Well, you know, initially we had said to the those that had seats, the elected members and the one standard bearer that are from Queen Square, we had invited them when we were doing mediation that we would consider having them return to the fold. But I just don't see how that is practical at this time.
Do you feel confident, notwithstanding all the developments within your party over the past several months, that you would be able to mount a formidable challenge in terms of vying for government and, of course, the leadership of this country?
We are confident that the Belizean people are very dissatisfied with this government, and the elections in the United States give very sound guidance as to elections being won on election day. One thing that we have done in the leadership executive of the UDP is to keep our standard bearers focused on their people, on the engagement, on the message. And that is a unique message, overall communication agenda, but it is unique in every constituency because, as we know, politics is local. So candidates that have had the fortune of being there for maybe 2 years or a year, they should not have any difficulty.
Queen Square standard bearer Godwin Haylock, Sister B's son and her successor in this longtime UDP stronghold, openly criticized Barrow during the takeover of the UDP headquarters 2 weeks ago. Haylock's bold stance against Barrow, his cousin and the nephew of incumbent area representative Denise Sister B. Barrow, has raised questions. Today we asked Barrow if Haylock will face repercussions for picking a side in the leadership battle.
Do those 31 candidates include Godwin Haylock? I ask simply because Queen Square has been the stronghold of the United Democratic Party for all these many years. And when you look at the succession...
Mesopotamia is the longest.
Fair enough.
Since
when you look at the
1979.
succession in Queen Square, though,
Yeah.
it went from Dean Barrow, your father, to Denise Barrow, your aunt, to Godwin Haylock. But Godwin Haylock was among them who essentially came out against you when that palace coup was effected post October 20th.
And, you know, this is the thing, Isani. As I said, I don't want to take anything off the table because I am guided by the majority. Whatever my colleagues think is best for the party, have to have an open mind and an open heart towards the possibility of healing and reconciliation. But with this crowd, I just don't see it. And no one did anything to Godwin Haylock. He decided to be a part of, as you said, the palace coup. And I don't see any return. I don't even know that they have any interest in returning because according to them, they have their own executive and their own anything.
But can you field a candidate in Queen Square at this present moment
yes,
that would be able to hold his or her own against Dr. McKay, given the short space of time that one would have now to actively campaign in that constituency?
Yes.
Uncertainty continues to loom over the UDP and the management of its political organs. Last week's court ruling ordered Albert area representative Tracy Tager Panton and her executive to vacate the premises, which also meant their support staff wouldn't be there. So, instead of the usual Wave TV and radio talk show co-hosts Alfonso Noble and Joe Bradley this morning, former UDP City Councillor Dean Samuels and former UDP mayoral candidate Dr. Nelma Mortis took over. Up until last Thursday, Noble was the editor of the Guardian newspaper under the Panton faction, which had occupied the compound and to whom he had pledged allegiance in the ongoing leadership struggle. Panton and her executive believe she is the rightful leader of the UDP, based on a convention held on October 20th at the Belize City Civic Center, where a majority of UDP delegates voted to replace Mesopotamia area representative Moses Shine Barrow with her. Barrow, however, argues that the convention was not valid because it wasn't presided over by UDP chair Mike Parafit. Today, Alfonso Noble made a brief appearance at the start of Wave TV's Fusting the Morning show to announce that he would be stepping down indefinitely.
I've just been notified that I've been put on pause from doing the morning show, but I thought it necessary to advise our viewership, no, that you guys will be on this morning, and I'll take a side step until matters are fully resolved. It has been a very, very excellent time for me working at Wave Radio. It's really, really good. I've done what I can to forward the position of the party as much as I can, and I guess a decision will be made as to my
On the way forward.
my status. Yeah, and I've received a call this morning, and I just thought it necessary to tell the audience, because people tune in and
They're expecting to see you. Yeah.
many viewers who loyally listen to the show and listen to myself and Joe Bradley every morning, and I think it's necessary to give a little explanation as to why myself and Joe will not be present this morning, and what will happen going forward. So I just want to thank all of those people who have always tuned into us, cede to whatever is taking place at this point in time, and make my graceful exit at this point in time. So, Ms. Nelma, I'm Dean. Carry forward, push the UDP agenda forward.
Outspoken talk show hosts Alfonso Noble and Joe Bradley have been ousted from Wave Radio's Fosting Namanin. The staunch UDP supporters made scathing remarks against Shine Barrow last week after the Alliance for Democracy took over the party's headquarters. Following Friday's court ruling, Barrow and his team regained control of the building, along with the UDP's media outlets, including Wave Radio and The Guardian newspaper. Noble, who has been the editor of the weekly publication and a fixture on the morning show since 2008, was also affected by these changes. Here's how Barrow responded to the recent shakeup.
Many were tuned in this morning to Wave Radio and Television to see what, if any, new changes in terms of the lineup of hosts and co-hosts would have been. And not surprisingly, 2 new faces showed up this morning to take on Fosting Namanin. What's the fate of Joe Bradley and Alfonso Noble where the radio and the TV show is concerned?
The behavior of Alfonso Noble was reprehensible, and it was telling as to, I guess, how he always felt. And so no employer, no organization can have people in those positions that behave that way, and to go along with the criminal, illegal takeover does not sit well with many. The party chairman and the secretary general are dealing with that as whatever formal notices, and there are some people that say, well, let them apologize, and so we'll see what the permanent decision is. But I had always been guided by many colleagues who felt that we needed a change on Fosting Namanin, and we needed to diversify the hosts. And so this is a good opportunity to bring different people in, on different days and offer some diversity. We look forward to having a day where a different standard bearer would host, on that day.
Late this evening, Tracy Tager Panton issued a statement on UDP letterhead, announcing that she has secured the backing of the majority of the UDP Orange Walk South Executive Committee. According to Panton, 13 out of 15 delegates from that constituency signed a letter endorsing her as the party leader. She claims this brings the total number of constituency committees supporting her to 18. In her statement, Panton also called out German Tillett, the constituency leader, noting that he has yet to publicly support her leadership. Copies of the signed endorsements from the UDP Orange Walk South Executive Committee were attached to the release. Coming up, police still investigating death of Guillermo Martinez.
Hi, I'm Ava.
And I'm Aiden. We're your AI guides to all things NHI.
In this video, we will guide you on how to become an NHI member. You, and if you have a child, must have a Social Security card. To get an SSB card is easy. Visit socialsecurity.org.bz/card-replacement to view the required documents that are needed.
There is a fee of only $5 Belize dollars for a first-time issue and $26 Belize dollars for a replacement card. Newborns can use their mother's SSB card for up to 2 months.
With your SSB card, you and all family members can register at any NHI contracted clinic of your choice.
You and members of your family can now access health care when needed.
Please note that once you are registered with a clinic, you must go to that same clinic when you need medical care. Look out for more NHI guides like this.
Hey there, Digi customer. Are you ready to win? Download the DigiPoints app and start earning today. To download, simply search DigiPoints in your App Store or Google Play Store. Then click download or install. Once your download is complete, open the DigiPoints app to register. DigiGo account holders can then log in your DigiGo credentials. If you do not yet have an account, fill in your information in a few simple steps, and you're all set up. You will receive a verification code via SMS. Enter that code and begin to earn and win. Now being a Digi customer is better than ever. Download the DigiPoints app today.
In Belize, we value our families, we value our communities, we value our neighbors. 90% of Belizeans think it's time for laws that protect all of us and reflect society at its best. 94% of Belizeans agree that public spaces in Belize should be more accessible to people living with disabilities. In Belize, we believe in fair treatment and supporting one another. We know that our beautiful country is at its best when we come together for the greater good. 2 out of 3 Belizeans support a new law to prevent discrimination in employment and public spaces. It shouldn't matter where we come from, who we love, or what we look like. Belizeans deserve to live our best lives. It's time for laws that protect all of us and reflect our society at its best. Equal Opportunities Bill. Belize, we're ready.
Hey Manuel, what's up bro? What you doing here?
I'm just checking out the new electric buses. So tell me, have you submitted your bid on them?
No, I haven't done so as yet. Actually, I don't know how it works. Can you tell me more?
Of course. Come on in, let's check it out. As you know, the Belize City Council is managing 2 for the Belize City routes. But now, the government is looking for private operators to manage 3 for the district routes. These new buses were funded by the European Union, and they are bigger and more comfortable for the district routes between Belize, Corozal, and Cayo.
So how does the management work?
UNDP owns the buses and charging stations for now, but private operators will manage everything: staffing, operations, and maintenance. The government will oversee the process. It is a great way to build your own business.
That sounds like a solid opportunity. So how do we as operators get involved?
It's a competitive process. They're looking at your experience, relevant resources, management skills, and of course, best value. If we win, we get a 2-year contract to operate these bad boys.
That sounds like a win-win opportunity. Might be time to get my bid together.
That's right. Only those who have sent their expression of interest can submit their bid for an opportunity to be a part of the future of transportation. For more information on the bidding process, please contact the Chief Transport Officer at the Department of Transport at 828-9239. Bids are open until November 2024.
Belize, get ready. In Your Kitchen, Belize Edition is bringing you simple, healthy, delicious meals made just for you. Join Chef Ainsley and our team of nutritionists as they show you how to turn local favorites into nutritious, tasty dishes. Plus, discover the amazing health benefits of everyday foods right from your kitchen. Catch the premiere on Channel 5 on November 18th at 7:30 p.m. And tune in every Monday after for healthier cooking that's easy and fun. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness with support from Taiwan ICDF, making healthy cooking a Belizean tradition.
A disagreement between two men in San Pedro has turned deadly, leaving one man dead and another facing charges. Matthew Moses was found dead near the Secret Beach area in San Pedro and Burgers Key. Reports indicate that he got into a dispute with a male acquaintance who then shot him and left him for dead. ACP Gilberto Romero provides more details on the incident.
On Friday, the 8th of November 2024, police responded to a call in San Pedro where information was received that somebody was there motionless with gunshot injuries. Police visited the area where they found the body of a male person. He was identified as Matthew Moses, and he had several gunshot injuries. Investigation revealed that Matthew Moses had an altercation with a male person in that area. This person has been taken into custody. A licensed firearm was retrieved from him. An investigation is being carried out, and at the conclusion will determine if any charges will be levied.
What was the motive?
It was a long misunderstanding they had over a period of time, and that is what led to the shooting.
On Friday, we reported on Guillermo Martinez, whose body was discovered floating in the Dangriga River just a week after his release from Belize Central Prison. The circumstances surrounding Martinez's death remain unclear, as police have yet to determine the cause of death or identify any suspects. Today, ACP Gilberto Romero shared the full police report with us.
And on Friday, the 8th of November 2024, Dangriga police visited an area in Dangriga where they saw the lifeless body of a male person in the water. The body was retrieved and he was identified as Guillermo Martinez of Dangriga. This person had been reported missing days prior, and thereafter his body was found. We are awaiting a post-mortem examination to determine his cause of death. It is decomposed, so we are waiting for the doctor to conduct the post-mortem.
On Friday, we reported on Selvin Humes, a construction worker who was tragically stabbed to death during a fight with an acquaintance in Independence Village. His loss has deeply affected the community, who knew him as a peaceful man. Police have since identified and charged a suspect with his murder. Here's ACP Gilberto Romero with the details.
On Thursday, the 7th day of November 2024, around 9 p.m., Independence Police visited an area in Independence Village where they found a male person with stab wound injuries. He was identified as Selvin Humes and he was taken for treatment. Selvin Humes later succumbed to his injuries. Investigation revealed that Selvin Humes had an altercation with Randall Montero in Independence Village, who inflicted stab wounds to him. An investigation was carried out and Randall Montero has since been arrested and charged with the crime of murder.
Any motive?
They were having a fight over money.
Do they know each other?
Yes, they knew each other.
Both persons were consuming alcohol?
Yes, they were drinking before the stabbing.
Over the weekend, a man and a 6-year-old child went through a harrowing ordeal when gunshots rained down on their home in the Corozal district. This scary incident took place on Saturday night on Pine Street. Thankfully, both have been released from the hospital and are now in stable condition. ACP Gilberto Romero will share more details on the incident.
On Saturday, the 9th day of November, there was a shooting at Pine Street. In Corozal, police visited a house where they saw some bullet holes. Investigation revealed that 2 persons had been taken for treatment at the hospital. The persons were identified as Glenn Swazon, a 6-year-old minor. They received injuries. They were treated and thereafter released from the hospital. Investigation is ongoing into this matter. No persons are detained reference this shooting.
Tonight, a family is heartbroken after a tragic motorcycle accident claimed another life in Belize. The victim, Eric Williams from San Pedro, was found injured on the ground early Sunday morning. Despite being rushed to the hospital, Williams sadly succumbed to his injuries. ACP Gilberto Romero has more details on this heartbreaking incident.
On Sunday, the 10th day of November 2024, there was a fatal road traffic accident in San Pedro. Police visited an area around 1 a.m. where they saw a motorcycle with damages. Also, they saw the body of a male person. The person was taken to the hospital for treatment, where he succumbed to his injuries. He was identified as Eric Williams of San Pedro. Investigation revealed that he was riding his motorcycle when he crashed into a lamppost. And thereafter, he was taken and succumbed to his injuries.
After the break, opposition Senator Mike Parafit criticizes the latest supplementary request. But first, here's the latest weather update from the folks at the Met Service.
¿Eres un agricultor visionario listo para adoptar prácticas climáticamente inteligentes? El futuro de agricultura es resiliente, sostenible y rentable, y estamos aquí para ayudarte a lograrlo. Ya sea que cultives medio acre a 200 acres, DFC ofrece opciones de financiamiento accesible y un subsidio compensario de hasta $12,000 para la ventana 1 y hasta $60,000 para la ventana 2. Para que tu finca sea climáticamente inteligente, resista los impactos climáticos impredecibles y adopte prácticas que mejoren la productividad y eficiencia. Este programa es ideal para agricultores y cooperativas. Se anima especialmente a las mujeres agricultoras a aprovechar esta oportunidad. Únete a nosotros en la creación de un futuro agrícola resiliente y sostenible para Belice. Aplica ahora y da ese siguiente paso hacia un mañana más fuerte y verde.
Bananas on the Beach, your gateway to local luxury. To book your stay, visit bananasonthebeach.com or contact reservations at 280-4726.
Oh, I wasn't having a bad day. I just needed...
It's here! The biggest sale of the year. Get ready to find your happy place at Builders Hardware with our Happy Sale from October 15th to December 31st. Whether you're a professional contractor or a DIY enthusiast sprucing up your home, we got unbeatable prices that will put a big smile on your face. Now is the perfect time to give your wall a fresh look. Get 20% off paint and a whopping 25% off paint supplies. But wait, there's more. From our stylish light fixtures to fans and AC, we got everything you need to elevate your space. Now at 25% off. And for the finishing touch, check out our wide selection of tiles, where you will surely find the tile to match your style, all at 25% off. Plus, with 30 to to 50% off selected items, you will find what you need at a price that will surely make your pocket smile. We also sell sand and gravel, blocks, roofing, and so much more. Yes, you can get all your materials from construction start to finish right here at Builders Hardware. Don't miss out on our happy deals. Tell your friends, tell your family. Come visit us, save big with our happy sale from October 15th to December 31st. Builders Hardware in Belmopan. This is your happy place.
We think our customers are awesome!
My name is Cleon Aranda. I am 11 years old and I go to Hattieville Government School. I think it was evening. My mom got out of her room and she shouted that I had won the essay competition. I felt excited that my school got a prize because my school needs it. I remember one morning waking up to the news that my cousin was in an accident. It was an uncertain and fearful situation until we learned that she was going to be okay. Unfortunately, not every family member is as lucky as we were. Many families lose loved ones to traffic accidents, and I cannot help but wonder how many accidents can be avoided if only people would keep their eyes on the road and mind on the drive. We are all humans, so what the driver misses, another passenger in the vehicle may catch just in time to save lives.
With Cleon winning this competition, not only shows that Cleon is a brilliant student, it also shows that the quality of education provided here at Hattieville Government School is exceptional. A big thank you to BEL. The donation will be used to refurbish the computer lab. I believe it will enhance their learning capabilities and it would also better equip them for this technological world that we're now living in. Thank you to BEL. Keep up the good work and encouraging students to read more, write more, and participate in competition. And also to note that BEL does not only provide electricity, but that they also engage the communities in a lot of positive ways.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Courtney introduced the second reading of a bill to allocate additional funds for public services for the 2024 to 2025 financial year. He emphasized that this bill aligns with the national policy of presenting supplementary appropriation bills to the National Assembly, ensuring the public is informed about extra spending beyond the approved budget before April 1st. However, opposition Senator Mike Parafit voiced his concerns, attributing the need for roughly 10% more funds to poor planning, sloppiness, and misjudgment by the government.
I see something here in the supplemental for general elections. Now that one line item, Madam President, I fully support, and we fully support. The rest we do not support. So, Madam President, I urge the government to use this money, use every penny to call the general elections now, because you're budgeting for it. And if it comes in a budgetary, if it comes in a supplementary, that is in a budget cycle that will end in March 2025, it means clearly then that the general elections is going to be before the end of March 2025. So don't be secret about it, Madam President. Say what you're going to use with the one. No, to be fair, you're saying what you're using it for. General elections, $343,787. So, Madam President, what they should do, the leader of government business should announce the date for the elections. No, you come to the National Assembly and you say, approve us $106 million. That's what we're talking about today, Madam President. Today, in this very nondescript room, this body will decide that the people of Belize need to approve $106 million on top of the $1 billion budget that was presented earlier this year. With a full 4 to 5 months left, you come here and you ask for about 10% of what you asked for in 2024. Madam President, that's unacceptable. Ministry of Finance was approved 10 million plus, and now they're coming back for 4 million plus. 40%. That's how much you have miscalculated what you needed for 2024, 2025. You have miscalculated, and we're only in November, Madam President. Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security for Cap 2 got 220,000. Today they're asking for $3.2 million. Either you don't know how to do a budget, if you're the minister for that, or this is a hustle. What do you need that money for that you didn't need it for just in March?
Business Senator Kevin Herrera pointed out several line items requesting additional funds, raising concerns about the amounts being asked for. He noted that the supplementary budget represents a significant request for new spending. Herrera expressed hope that the PUP administration will continue to maintain fiscal discipline as it has done in reducing foreign debt. He also criticized the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security, accusing them of simply copying and pasting their requests.
The Ministry of National Defense and Border Security seems like they're copying and pasting previous budgets, and the numbers really didn't make sense. I highlighted this in my budget presentation both last year and this year. In terms of the new personnel, in terms of what was required in supplies, and it just didn't make sense. And so it's not a surprise to me, Madam President, when looking at these numbers again today, I'm looking, the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security is asking for $3.3 million more, or 15% of the $19 million that was budgeted earlier. It's a significant ask in terms of new spending, Madam President, and I think I wanted to highlight that. But also I think we have to look at it in terms of what we were trying to achieve in March. What we had in March, Madam President, is that I think we had around a margin of less than 1% of revenues, of expenditures over revenues, and so there was a very small financing gap that was required. And I think that spoke to fiscal discipline when we were trying to really balance those numbers. And so now that begs the question, Madam President, when you throw $100 million, $106 million on top of that, what does that mean in the larger context? Does that mean that we've thrown that fiscal discipline aside and we're saying, well, let's expand the deficit? Or does that mean that we brought in unforeseen or unexpected additional revenues into the system and we'll maintain those ratios?
Senator Eamon Courtney acknowledged that it's not ideal to ask the Senate to support the appointment of an Auditor General for just 4 months, but it's the reality they face right now. He reminded everyone that Dorothy Bradley was brought out of retirement and her contract was extended until it expired in August. Since then, the Auditor General position has been vacant. Courtney cited the 2001 constitutional amendment that allows for the appointment of an acting Auditor General. The government has recommended Deputy Auditor General Maria Rodriguez for the temporary role. Today, the leader of government business explained the reasoning behind this short-term appointment.
The government has come asking the permission of this House, the House of Representatives, to approve recommendation to the Governor General to appoint Ms. Rodriguez as an acting Auditor General for 4 months. The period of 4 months has to do with, as I understand it, completing the process for the advertising and interviewing and hope for recommendation of a person to be appointed the Auditor General. My appeal to this Honorable Senate, Madam President, is to reflect soberly on whether or not we prefer to continue for 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 month, 4 months without an Auditor General in an acting position. Is that better than having an acting Auditor General? If the social partners and the opposition, as they have articulated, are not supporting the motion, then the motion will fail, and it means that we will have no Auditor General. I do not believe, with respect, that that is in the interest of the Belizean people. All the criticisms that have been levied are taken on board. I am not standing here to dispute them. What I will say is the importance that is attached to this constitutional office. The fact that the Constitution was amended to allow for an acting Auditor General to be appointed should be borne in mind, and to say where the public interest lies. Is it in having an acting Auditor General on a short-term basis so that we can complete the process with making a formal appointment, or is it better to have the office without someone acting in the interim?
Parafeet raised eyebrows over the amount allocated for grocery bags. Initially, the budget was around $3 million, but now the supplementary budget is asking for an additional $2.5 million. He used this as an example to accuse the government of politicizing the system. In response, PUP Senator Bevington Kahl explained that many of the grocery bags distributed in Toledo go to single mothers, the elderly, and people with disabilities who genuinely need the help.
When it comes to the Ministry of Human Development, again, he criticized what we call the Grocery and Food Assistance Program, Madam President. But this government, Madam President, is not giving Mickey Mouse any grocery bags. We are making sure, not even Minnie Mouse. Madam President, I work directly in the Toledo district, dealing with these, in the Toledo East especially now, Madam President. And we make sure the priority is for the elders, Madam President, the single mothers. We have a lot of our elders who have done a lot for our society. They have done a part in the growth of our country. And of course, we need to take care of them, when they cannot help themselves, Madam President. And for us, this is the priority. And we have a large number of our society that is in that age range that really needs it. And I see the appreciation that these senior citizens have, Madam President, when they get these grocery bags, the smile on their faces. And for me, if we can continue to do that, to support them while we can, I will fully support that, Madam President, even ask for an increase in this allocation so that we can take care of these elders. We actually support a lot of the organizations as well that deal directly with the senior citizens as well, Madam President, the single mothers, people who are disabled. These are the people who are getting these grocery bags.
When we return, Belize city streets in bad shape. St. Thomas gets some love.
Are you looking for a career where success has vast potential? As an agent with RFNG Life Insurance, you'll be a part of a dynamic team that values ambition and hard work. Our agents enjoy numerous benefits, including flexible working hours, high earning potential, and thorough training programs. Why is becoming an agent important? Because you get to shape your future. You'll help clients achieve their dreams, and in doing so, you'll achieve yours. Starting on your first day, you'll receive thorough training and continuous professional development. Our cutting-edge tools and resources will equip you to excel in the field. Achieving your goals as an agent is simple with our well-defined roadmap to success. We provide mentorship, performance incentive, and a vibrant community to help you stay motivated and on track. Our support network is second to none. You'll have access to experienced mentors, a collaborative team environment, and recognition programs that help you celebrate your milestones and achievements. Contact us today and become a part of something extraordinary. RFNG Life Insurance, your future, our commitment.
Upcoming enhancements to My Social Security. The new healthcare provider feature seamlessly connects healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers to facilitate the payment of sickness benefits. Here are the enhancements. Registered healthcare providers will create and submit online medical certificates using their healthcare provider accounts. Insured persons will receive a link to view the medical certificate to complete and submit their sickness benefit claim. And employers will receive an email notification of their employee's sickness claim. Also, the insured person and their employer will receive a copy of the claim decision letter after review. Healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers are encouraged to create a portal account to access and benefit from these new services on My Social Security at ssbportal.org.bz. My Social Security online portal. Social Security at your fingertips.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
The Statistical Institute of Belize, in collaboration with UNICEF, informs the public that they will conduct the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey starting August 26th for approximately 14 weeks. During the survey, trained interviewers will visit randomly selected households nationwide. Each field worker will wear a mint green t-shirt with the Mix 7 logo and an official photo identification card. We thank you for your participation. For more information on the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, call us at 822-2207. The Statistical Institute of Belize, providing Belize with quality, objective, and timely information.
The third installment of the Jacinto Learns Financial Literacy series has finally arrived. In this new book, Jacinto Learns to Budget. Dr. Carol Babb, Education Director of the Holy Redeemer Credit Union, dives into the challenging yet crucial skill of budgeting. Over the weekend, News 5's Brittany Gordon attended the book launch, which is set to revolutionize children's literature in Belize.
Managing money is one of life's toughest challenges. Even as adults, many people find it hard to balance their finances and save for a rainy day. That's why Dr. Carol Babb, the Education Director at Holy Redeemer Credit Union, has spent years helping children develop the financial skills they'll need throughout their lives. She shares how she's making a difference with her new book, Jacinto Learns to Budget.
All the books are focused on financial literacy, which is a very important life skill, a skill that everyone should acquire to learn to save and to manage your money so that you can live a productive life. And it's also important for the government to become more aware of the importance of financial literacy. It is extremely important if we want to ensure that our economy grows and that our people are productive and they are enjoying good health. Because whenever our members or our people don't have money, they are not well, they are not financially well. And so if we want to promote financial wellness, the method for that, or the medicine for that, or the cure for that is financial literacy.
In the first installment of this series, Jacinto Learns to Save, Babb teaches children the value of working for something they want. And the sequel, Jacinto Opens an Account at the HRCU, encourages financial independence.
There were two important messages that the loving grandmother taught Jacinto, that whenever you want anything in life, you should work for it. So it's a message that parents need to teach their children at a very early age the importance of working and the importance of saving. 0 to 8 is a formative age through which children can learn about anything, especially.
The illustrated book features Jacinto, a relatable main character who chats with the adults around him instead of just following orders. Luciola Castillo, Chief Librarian of the National Library Services, emphasizes the importance of creating books in a language that's easy for children to understand.
Now we have Dr. Babb's book to help us teach our children, youths, and even adults about budgeting and the wise decisions we have to make to ensure that we have a productive and good quality of life. Being aware of the implications of financial literacy will lead us to make better financial decisions, equip us to reach our goals, be better financial managers of our earnings, reduce our expenses by knowing what we should give priority to and spend wisely, by creating a budget and be consistent with it.
Building on the lessons from Babb's earlier books, Jacinto now dives into more advanced topics like diversifying income. Jamael Babb, Executive Director of the Belize Credit Union League, highlights the importance of teaching these essential financial concepts early to lay the groundwork for smart money habits.
Now, as Jacito mastered the difference between wants and needs, he then moves into the concept where he's introduced to expense and income. Jacito independently explores the idea of fixed and variable expense, showing curiosity and problem-solving skills. Though presented as a children's story, these accounting principles, familiar to many of us in the room due to our profession and our education, are critically underthought in the educational system.
Dr. Babb has already begun working on her 4th Jacinto book and is excited to see where the series takes her. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
After the launch of Jacito Learns to Budget, a book by Dr. Carol Babb aimed at teaching kids financial literacy, Holy Redeemer Credit Union kicked off its Open Day festivities. Celebrating 80 years of service to Belize, HRCU invited customers to learn about the company's history, ask questions about their procedures, and join in fun games to win prizes. HRCU Chief Finance Officer Clement Usher shared more about the event's purpose.
The first event was to open for the book launch for Dr. Babb. She's her third book launch. The Jacito Learns to Budget, and we decided that we would do it along with an open day so that our members could come up and ask questions to the staff about delinquency or loans or anything that they wanted to talk to our staff more intimately about, because you know when you're transacting at the counter downstairs, it's very difficult to ask questions. So we decided we'd do this open day and they can come up and ask whatever they want, read up about the credit union. And then we also did a historical display of HRCU from it started way back in 1944 and up to present, 2024. So it's like 8 decades of 80 years of helping people financially. If you look at the display, we started off with 3 women and 75 cents each, and we're now at almost 65,000 members with assets of just, I think by next week we'll be over 800 million. So we've really grown over the 8 decades that we've been in service. And it's thanks to our loyal and faithful member owners who are always inside the office, even though we've given them access to online and ATMs where they don't have to come into the credit union. They always prefer to come to HRCU to do their own transactions. And of course, we have a branch in Independence, and so they are also doing their open day today as well. And eventually, by next year, by middle of next year, we should have a branch in Belmopan, or capital city.
Just before midnight on Sunday, an old 2-story wooden house on Freetown Road was engulfed in flames. The owner had deemed it unsafe to live in months ago and moved out, but allowed someone to stay on the first floor despite the lack of electricity. Tonight, the fire department is investigating to find out what caused the blaze. News 5's Paul Lopez has the story.
A wooden structure on Freetown Road went up in flames on Sunday night. This morning, we met the owner of the property, Maurice Francis, at the location assessing the damage.
So far, I don't know what happened, you know. I was playing football at Berger Field yesterday evening, and then I went to my little spot where I hang out, and early this morning, I get a video, and it was blazing fire.
Francis explained that he grew up in the home and had to move out after the house almost fell during a hurricane.
I wasn't living inside, but I had somebody that stayed here that watched the place for us, you know, but I don't see her, I don't speak to her yet, so I don't know what really went down. To me, it's a great loss because, like, where I'm at, I'm punishing, you know, and I was planning to come and get this place together right away, and, you know, this is what happened. I was planning to just take a little bit and put it on the side, and so that I could stay in here, but it's too late.
So now with everything destroyed, you can't salvage any part of it?
Can't salvage no part of it.
Fire personnel responded swiftly on Sunday night, but their efforts proved futile as the old wooden house was fuel to the fire. This afternoon, fire personnel were back on the scene to conduct further investigation.
We didn't have electricity at the time. We had people live downstairs. The upstairs was at this present time unknown if it was occupied.
And do you guys, have you managed to establish the cause of the fire as yet?
At this present moment, We have a slight idea, but we're still under investigation on determining the fire. Compared to fire burnout analysis, it seems to have started in the center of the building. The guys, they did a really good job keeping it contained. As you can see to the rear, you have an abandoned structure, and the guys are training twice a week at this present moment. So they're really keeping up their training. So this is the outcome that we will have from here on.
Without electricity on the property, those who occupied the home would have utilized candles.
But I'm not saying it's their malfunction, you know. Yeah, I'm pointing any fingers on nobody. But, you know, the house is like a Sora anyway, you know. I mean, I'm personally not like it. I personally was afraid of it. So I said I come out, knock a stand-up thing, and then I was going to come back and take it down. I'd asked the whole of Belize for like support Mr. Magic Francis.
How did they reach you?
Well, they got my phone number, 627-5308. You know, just call me and help out the superstar for Belize because, you know, I devote all my life playing football and I don't get nothing. I don't beg nobody for nothing. So this time I feel like I have to ask because the Bible says ask and it shall be given unto you.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The Belize City Council says it needs $1.6 million to fix the damaged streets across the city. But they're not sure where the money will come from. Today, Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner told News 5 that it's unlikely the council can raise these funds on its own. So they've asked the central government for help. Meanwhile, work has started on St. Thomas Street, which was in terrible shape, just like the worst streets in the old capital. However, these repairs weren't included in the council's damage assessment report. Belize Telecommunications Limited and Belize Water Services are teaming up with the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing to cover the repair costs. News 5's Paul Lopez has more.
Belize City streets are in terrible shape, as confirmed by a damage assessment report from the Belize City Council. The poor conditions have even sparked a viral parody that's making the rounds.
Muffler me a look away you there, radiator me a look away you there. Must see drop off by plaza. Muffler me a look away you there, radiator me a look away you there. Me run over Miss Mary daughter. Muffler me a look away you there, radiator me a look away you there. Must see drop off by plaza. Yo, me artist already? Me artist already? All right. Get me broke down Pan Street. But hole again. On the road again, yay!
There's finally a ray of hope for motorists navigating the streets of the old capital. Over the weekend, repair works began on one of the city's main thoroughfares, St. Thomas Street. It is a welcome sight, according to one Belize City resident who lives nearby. He mentioned that he recently shelled out up to $1,100 in vehicle repairs after hitting a pothole on the street.
This street I've been this for quite some, like this way for quite some, most of the streets are around there. But what really get to me, the time that it took to fix it, I had to take my vehicle to the mechanic and it cost me $1,180 for the parts plus to pay the mechanic. It's time that they fix it. But I do hope that they do a good job and give us a cover Benjamin.
And according to Mayor Bernard Wagner, the cost of the St. Thomas Street repairs is being covered through an innovative three-way agreement between BTL, BWS and MIDH.
Remember when that project started, I believe it was late last year, I think one entity was going to do it and then it pulled out. And so we were left with a street that was essentially dug up. And so we collaborated, BTL, BWS and the MIDH and us. And what we did there in this instance was to offset trade license, property taxes over a 3-year period so that it does not hurt the council in terms of its revenue. So they would inject the funding to rehabilitate the street, and thereafter we would offset what they inject over a 3-year period So you kill two birds with one stone. You get the street fixed, but you still do not compromise the cash flow of the council in a one-year term.
And works are already on the way, with one side of the street almost completely resurfaced. But this is separate and apart from the $1.6 million that the council estimates it will need to repair damaged streets across the city.
Most of the damages where we see that the streets that are not paved, the ones that have been paved have generally held up. The ones that are concrete hold up pretty well. Yeah. So that one clear indicator that maybe it's time to go that route fully in terms of concreting or hot mix.
Your city admin said the money will come. Who or where will the money come from?
At the city level, this is a sort of next to like a disaster or hurricane event. So to house fire in the capital to fund those streets will be highly unlikely. So we had to send a request to the Ministry of Infrastructure as well as to the Ministry of Finance to see how they could assist us. And we are not asking for funding, we are asking to assist with the material.
What do you say to residents that don't necessarily care for the financial deliberations and the decisions to be made? They just want their streets fixed.
My thing here is that taxes has to be paid. Property taxes has to be paid. We are owed over 30 million by property owners all across the city. And so you can't be on one side saying you want decent street, you want best street, but you don't pay your taxes. It has to be that I am paying my taxes. We know in some areas, some streets, they have close to 80–90% compliance, but we have a tool that we utilize as well in respect to compliance on street in respect to property taxes. And if you as a city level is owed close to 30 million in property taxes, that's a clear indicator of where we sit.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The Belize City Council has re-established its Utility Coordination Unit. Utility companies often get blamed for leaving streets in worse condition after working on their infrastructure. This unit will oversee these projects to ensure that when a utility company digs up your street, they leave it as good as they found it, if not better.
We want to continue urge our utility entities where we've had a good relationship. We have put in place the Utility Coordination Unit. I sent out letters just last week for those utilities providers to have representative on that committee. And that committee is established by law, and you have that committee who really vet. If say BWS will go on Penn Road to do works on their infrastructure, they would then send in an application to that Utility Coordination Unit, who then vet it and sign off on it to ensure that there is some measure of accountability, and that at the completion of the works that the utility company would do, then they would be held responsible to put it back to where it was before.
Up next, the weekend sports review with Paul Lopez.
And the second matchup we covered was between...
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
We all know about the phasing out of single-use plastics and the enactment of pollution from the plastics regulations. One of the key components in this regulation states that for an item to be considered biodegradable, it must consist of more than 50% of bio-based content. Here, you will find out how the Department of the Environment determines what items meet the criteria and what equipment is being used to guide that process.
Since 2019, the Department of the Environment has been working with CIFAS in doing microplastics. Through this project, CIFAS has donated 2 microscope Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy equipment to strengthen capacities on monitoring and enforcement to reduce marine litter and plastic pollution. The FTIR can be used to identify unknown materials. The Department of the Environment will use the equipment to determine the composition of single-use plastics and biodegradable products to enforce the environmental protection, pollution from plastics regulations.
While we have a long way to go with the implementation of the pollution from plastics regulation, having this equipment is one step closer. For more information on what's being done about biodegradables and ways you can help, visit our website at www.doe.gov.bz.
Every moment of every day, crystal water is taste you can trust.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México ahora puedan ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos, pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal. Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y el fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno. Y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener pues el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
This is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? it's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Good night and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez. The Inter-Office Basketball League is winding down with its 2024 final series. Tough Enough is taking on Police in a best-of-3 series for all the marbles. The first game of the series was played on Friday night inside the Belize City Civic Center. Tough Enough played in their signature black jerseys, while Team Police were black and white. Griffith big on the inside with the first 2 points of the match for Tough Enough. Moments later, Belize at the other end with a huge 3-point shot, and he draws the foul. Belize will go on to miss the free throw. Tough Enough went into the second quarter with a double-digit lead, scoring 22 points in the first quarter to their opponent's 10 points. Rivers using his size advantage to get inside and make the layup for Police. Late in the second quarter, Brown for Police exploits a weakness in Tough Enough's defensive lineup to get the layup and the foul. He went to the line and made the free throw. Team Police scored 20 points in the second quarter to their opponents' 15 points. So the first half ended with a score of 37-30 in favor of Tough Enough. After the first half break, Tough Enough came out of the locker room with fire in their eyes and ice in their veins. Valley with the long-range 3 extending his team's lead. Roland late in the third quarter worked his way through Ramos and Augustine, managed to get the ball into the bucket over an airborne Williams. Roland again, this time from the 3-point line with another big shot for Tough Enough. He finished his third quarter run with a fast break from the other end of the court that translated into a layup on the buzzer. Tough Enough won Game 1 with a score of 72 points to Team Police's 55 points. Game 2 will be played on Friday. From basketball, we move into some football action. One of the most anticipated football tournaments in the city, the Anthony Mahler Under-13 Mundialito Tournament is back with its 2024 closing season. We were out at the Berger Field on Saturday to catch 2 of the 4 matches played. The first was between Ebony Lake and Reality Youths. The match ended 1-0 in favor of Ebony Lake. It was an auto goal caused by miscommunication between the goalkeeper and his teammate. That one went in off a header from a Reality Youths player. But a goal is a goal, and a win is a win. And the second matchup we covered was between the opening season sub-champions, the Ladeville Rising Stars and Phoenix FC. This one quickly swung in the Rising Stars' favor, with this kick in front of the goal from Nigel Hulse at the 4th minute. Here in the second period, Kent Norales gets the assist inside the penalty box and he makes it count. Another beautiful play here from Rising Stars as the ball is placed for Norales off the head of his teammate. That's goal 2 for Norales. He finished the match with a hat trick. Ladeville Rising Stars won the game 6-0. And finally, in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday, a delegation from Belize traveled to Playa del Carmen last week to compete in the 8th Copa de Revolucion Games. Let's look at some of the results from that tournament. In shot put, Gina Tejeda secured a gold medal. In open male 100-meter dash, Fred Usher Jr. secured the gold medal with a new competition record of 10.37 seconds. Usher also won the silver medal in the 200-meter sprint. Donovan Greenwich Jr. secured 2 silver medals, one for long jump and the second for shot put. In the under-18 female races, Nyasha Harris displayed dominance in the 100 and 200-meter dash. Harris won gold in both races. Jaden Williams added to the gold medal victories with a win in the under-15 long jump and 150-meter race. In total, the delegation brought home 16 medals, including 6 gold medals, 7 silver, and 3 bronze medals. Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Thank you for joining us, and certainly catch you in the next one.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.